Welcome to Mommy's Black Book Podcast, the ultimate me time where we spill the tea.
From motherhood to sexcapades and everything in between, grab the wine.
Because it's girl talk time. We're your hosts. I'm Lexi, Lynn.
And I'm Miss Baby May.
Welcome. All right. So, what is Mommy's Black Book Podcast? Well,
It's our diary, basically.
Yeah.
It's everything we wouldn't tell our kids.
It's fantastic. The place where we air our dirty laundry.
Our deepest secrets.
Yes. And nobody can see our faces. So it's fantastic.
It's anonymous. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited. So let's share a little bit about your lovely hosts or hostesses, depending on how particular you want to be.
Hostesses with the mostesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Miss May, let's share. Let's hear a little about you.
Well, hello. I'm your secondary hostess, I guess, Miss Baby May. Married to my best friend in the whole wide world. I have 3 little boys.
That you call crotch goblins.
My little crotch goblins. I love them.
So fondly.
2 of them are my bonus goblins, though. So that's a good topic for another time. Blended families.
Yes.
Yep.
I have through that.
Yeah, it's fun. I have 5 cats that piss on everything, and well, I'm just your typical dork. I like to garden. I read. I play roller derby. Well, I did in the long ago before COVID ripped everything away from us. But
yes, COVID ripping the world that it seems.
Yep.
I miss concerts more than like anything.
Me too. Me too.
You know my sister. We used to go to concerts every year together.
I know. My husband has seen every band ever in the history of ever, so he's like really devastated.
Oh.
So now that things are opening back up,
yes, concerts.
It's gonna happen. It has to.
One day, we'll get there again.
Yep.
We love you, concerts. We need you, entertainment industry.
Yeah, and we need to be around other people. God damn it.
Right? Not only for our mental health, but for many other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyway.
So yeah, that's me. I garden, I skate, I wrangle small children, I paint. That's me.
You're fantastic.
Thank
You're an amazing
you.
painter.
Thank you. Well,
all right. So, I am Lexi Lynn. I am married. I have 2 children. And let's see. I have 2 dogs. Crazy dogs. My daughter is actually from my ex-husband. Yes. I've been a parent for 9 years, married for 4. I have a daughter and a son. They're fantastic. I also like to garden. Not very good at it, though. Work in progress. I'm super proud of my avocado tree over there. It survived 6 months.
okay, so you should be proud of that because I like to think I have a green thumb, right? But avocado trees are the one thing that I cannot start no matter what. I have 2 of them sitting on my windowsill right now, struggling to live.
Nice.
What's your secret?
I don't know. I mean, I played a meditation music at one point when they were itty bitty. Maybe that helped.
I'm gonna go home and do that.
See,
Damn it.
I have 3 over there, and I thought I had killed them at one point. And then I also have white sage growing over there. And I don't know how that little green and pink plant thing survived, because I forget to water that bitch for like a year. I don't know how it's still here, but it is.
Well, you're doing something right.
Forgetfulness in sunlight. Oh my goodness. So I guess the unique thing about my relationship is that my husband and I are actually in an open relationship. And that kind of is interesting to a lot of people. We'll get more into that later. But this is the About Me section, and that's part of me. So, Miss May,
yes.
My question for you is, how did you meet your hubby man?
Oh, well, that's a fun story. So we met 3 years ago, I think. I don't know.
How long have you guys been married?
We've been married. December will be our 2-year anniversary.
Okay.
So, yeah, 3 years. Met him 3 years ago. We were working at the same nursing home. He was the dietary kitchen manager, and I was just a little lowly CNA, right? I was going through a hard time. I swore off all men, right? Swore off all men.
Yeah. That's always when it happens.
Right, exactly. I swore off men, never doing it again. Had really long hair, chopped it all off, and then I posted a cute little profile picture, right? And then that night I got a message from this random ass dude, right? So I was looking at the message, and he said something along the lines of, "Oh, I just wanted to tell you at work, but I couldn't, but your hair looks so beautiful." And I was like, oh, this is weird. I know this dude. And he's, what a creeper, right?
Yes, a
okay.
creeper.
So I was like, okay, I'll humor this guy.
Interweb stalker.
Right? And then we started talking, and then we just never stopped talking. The first time we hung out, we actually hooked up. I surprised him in the middle of the night after my shift, because coincidentally he lived next door to where we were working.
Oh my goodness.
So
funny.
One day, a couple weeks after we started talking on Facebook, I showed up at his house and we hooked up, and then the rest is history.
Oh,
yeah.
History.
Fun little tidbit though. The place where we were working, his baby mama also worked there. She was a nurse there, so you could only imagine.
You're like, hide it.
We did. We hid it for a long time from a lot of people, and then word got out. We live in a small town.
Oh yeah.
So word got out. Shit hit the fan. It got weird, but now we're happily married. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, rest is history.
That's okay. Weird beginnings lead to the best of places.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't change anything. He's my best friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is super awesome.
What about you? I'm curious.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so in order to tell how my husband and I met, I have to tell you a little backstory.
Ooh, okay.
So, my daughter's father and I had recently split, and so I had a friend, and he and I split. I was like 21, 22, about to be 22, and I had a friend from high school that I bumped into at the gym, because you know me, I'm a gym rat. So it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the gym, and I'm always there at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I see him and I go, "What the hell are you doing here?" And he goes, "Oh, they just switched my schedule around, so I'm actually getting off right now. So I figured I'd just get my workout in before I go home because I'm already here." And I was like, cool. So then he spots me on my new workout that I'm doing, and I was like, okay. But he had a girlfriend, so I was like,
Touchy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So off limits, but still curious. So flirtatious, outgoing me is like, come over, hang out, Well, then, I'm like, wait, we can't hook up because I'm friends with your girlfriend. I've partied at your house. This is not a good way to go about things. So I send him home after stopping us making out.
Reluctantly so.
Yes. And then, he goes, and we're messaging back and forth, and he's trying to get me to come over and all this. And I'm like, I cannot hook up with you right now. This just cannot happen. So I'm like, yeah, this can't happen. This is not good situation. You gotta go. Well, around this time, my ex comes in to the house and is like, oh, interesting. He catches a vibe. So he messages this individual's girlfriend because they worked together, and is like, I think they hooked up. And of course he doesn't ask me. He just immediately assumes in messages. And so then she comes home, she freaks out. She's like going through his phone. She sees the messages between us where I'm just like, no, I'm not going to come over, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, this is it. We're done. She kicks him out. The very next day, he comes over and we hook up. And, you know.
Why not?
Right? She kicked you out. You're back at Dad's house. Why the fuck not? And from that point on, he was my go-to, boy toy. Yeah. He was my go-to boy toy. We had known each other since we were 14. He was a safe boy toy. And so with that being said, he got his own place. He and I are hooking up all the time. And then all of a sudden, I go over there and there's a mattress propped up against the wall in the living room because he lived in a loft apartment. And I was like, why is there suddenly a mattress here? What's with that? And he goes, oh, I got a roommate. And I was like, here in this tiny ass space? And he goes, well, yeah, he was kind of in a shitty situation and he needed to get out right away. So he's crashing here while he gets, other places. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. Who cares? You're helping out a friend. Well, then he and I are sitting there and we're getting hot and heavy. And then the door opens. The door. And then stairs, because they're upstairs. And I'm like, God damn it. So I sit in the chair and I'm just like, hi. He introduces me to his roommate. And I'm like, okay, Of course, I'm a little slut, so I'm thinking, he's kind of cute.
Yummy.
Right? I'm like, is there any way I can trick these into a threesome right now? What's happening? Yes. So then we have to, chill and just hang for a little bit. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go. And he walks me out and, says goodnight. And that is how I met my husband, because he was the roommate that walked in while I was trying to hook up with his friend.
What a cock block.
So, of course, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is too funny. We didn't start hooking up right away. We casually hung out a few times while we were all at the apartment together, but we didn't know each other super well. He moved out, got his own shenanigans set up and everything, and the roommate friend and I continued our escapades. And it was something like a year and a half later, the roommate friend and I had discontinued our escapades, but he and I hadn't seen each other in forever, and I guess he found me on Facebook on the People You May Know thing, and was like, I remember this bitch, she had a nice ass. And he hit me up and was like, hey, how you doing? And I was in the middle of a F-men phase. I was like, so done with these fucks. Like, no. And I hadn't even considered dating anyone in a year kind of deal. And so this message pops up and I almost blew him off. I was so close to just being like, get the F out of here. But I recognized the face and I was like, I know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? So I messaged him and he was like, I used to live with fill in the blank. And I was like, oh, I remember you.
The almost threesome.
Yes. The thought about. Not even close to almost. Just a flit across my brain. Could this happen?
Well.
So, then we start talking a little bit. and I'm still like so anti-guys and so angry at my last ex from a year beforehand that I was like, what are your motives? I don't even want to talk to you. What do you want?
Yep.
And we ended up going out on the most like lame date ever because we were both broke. I worked for the school district, so I made no money. And so we went to the park. No coffee, nothing. Sat on a picnic bench and it was like, hey, how have you been for the past year and a half?
Well, there you go.
And, you know, it all is downhill from there.
It's better than my first date with my husband.
Yeah.
This is also a fun story. So my first date with my husband was for my birthday. He took me to a local punk show to celebrate my birthday. Mm-hmm. And before the show, like the headlining band even started playing, I was in a mosh pit and some guy headbutted me and cracked my face open, blood gushing down. So it was like a group date kind of. My husband was there, and then my girlfriend at the time was also there. Mm-hmm. Story from another time.
Yes.
But blood was gushing down my face, and my girlfriend at the time was like, oh my god, what's happening? So we sat down, and she bandaged me up, and we went back into the mosh pit, finished the show, and then after that, we went and got a beer, and then he took me to the hospital, and then he took me home.
And then he took me to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It was a great time.
Oh my goodness, that's the best first date ever. He took me to the hospital.
He sure did.
What a nice guy.
Right? That's what I said. That's why I married him.
Oh my goodness. Hospitals. I've only been in a hospital with my husband. I mean, I want to say once, but it's been 3 times. One of them was for the birth of our child, though, so that was good.
Well, it's a happy experience.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was very happy. We had the entire maternity ward to ourselves, which is odd, but that's what happens when you go into labor at 2 o'clock in the morning on July 5th.
There you go.
Holiday weekend. Literally the first night that we had Jackson Earthside, we didn't have to do anything. The nurse did it all. He was in our room with us, but she took care of him because she was bored. Damn. She told us, you guys are my only customers tonight, and I've got VIP. Nothing to do. So I'm going to sit in here and take care of the baby and talk to you. And when you're ready to sleep, you go to sleep. At one point, she was like, I need to check his vitals. It's time. But you know what? I feel like you need a break. So I'm going to take him to the nursery. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, she told me to sleep, but she's gone with my baby, so I can't sleep, of course.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, she's been gone for like 45 minutes. What is taking so long? It's just vitals. And she comes back, and he's all double wrapped and all snuggy, all cozy and tight in his little blanket. And she wheeled him back in, and he slept for 6.5 hours after that. And I was like, they told me you're supposed to wake him up every 3 for feeding. And she goes, nope. I've been doing this for 34 years. Don't you wake that baby. You let him sleep. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
Whatever you say, boss.
Right? I'm gonna go back to sleep then.
Like, wait, you're coming home with me, right?
Right? I'm like, you are a beautiful soul. The amazing thing is I do not believe that she's been doing this for 34 years. I mean, okay, so she was Hispanic. They never aged. They're beautiful. Okay. She had the most beautiful, dark, black, curly hair ever. I was like, you are so gorgeous for your age. How in the hell have you been doing this for 34 fucking years?
What is your secret?
Right? I'm like, do you suck the youth from the babies?
You're a little fountain of youth here at this hospital? Busted.
Yes. There's a reason that all your coworkers look aged. Maybe she was secretly that witch from Rapunzel.
Yes.
I don't know. She had the beauty. Maybe she makes the children sing to her. No, in all actuality, she was freaking fantastic. I loved her, and she's like literally the best nurse ever. Shout out to you if you're listening. I don't know. I don't remember your name, but you were fantastic.
That's awesome. Man, respect to nurses.
Heck yeah,
Legit.
that's the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Nurses, they deal with so much poop. The only people who deal with more poop than moms.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I wanted to be a nurse for a long time, so I was a CNA for a long time, right? You want to talk about poop? Girl.
Oh, later stories. We both have poo stories. How terrible.
I've been pooped on by way too many people than I care to admit.
I feel ya. I gave, so I got that. And I worked in special education for a school district, so yep, lots of poop in my ears.
Poop, drool, vomit. Love it.
The not sexy side of the podcast.
Yep,
you
well,
know,
that's motherhood.
right?
Yep.
Real life, mommy's book. All right, so Miss May, you know, we have not known each other all that long. This is
not too
a
long.
new friendship. It's budding. And, you know, we're getting to know each other still. And I am very curious about your first time.
My first time, like, ever?
Yeah.
Like, ever?
Yeah.
What a fun story. Okay, so I was 14.
I was 14 when I had, yeah, okay. 14.
So let's stay together, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I was 14. It was with my boyfriend at the time. We were together for a while, so, like, you know, it was fun. Well, he invited me over to his house one day, and he was living with his aunt and uncle at the time, who were out of town for the day or whatever they're doing, so he had the house to himself. So I was like, yeah, perfect opportunity. Let's do it. I'm gonna lose my V card. Yeah. So we get to his house, and then we do all like the pleasantries, and we like sit awkwardly on his bed for 20 minutes and like figure out what to do. Giggle. And then
You said penis.
Exactly. So awkward and weird. And then we finally, like, you know, loosened up a little bit, got into it, got on top of me. It hurt a little bit. I was kind of freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this is cool. And then things were fine. And then, like, 10 minutes into it, we hear the door open, right? The downstairs door was opening, and we were like, wait, what are they doing? They're supposed to be gone, right? They're supposed to be in the next town over. They're not supposed to be home until tomorrow. What's happening, right?
You're like tripping. We're not even supposed to be here right
We're
now.
not supposed to be here. My parents are gonna fucking kill me. So he like jumps off me real quick, and he runs downstairs to see what the hell's going on. And sure as shit, his fucking aunt and uncle are in the house. Like, oh, well, we forgot, blah, 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 blah. So he was like, oh, how long is this gonna take?
Secretly, they've got security cameras.
Right? Oh, God.
Thank God it was before that time.
Dude, and I attribute this instance to my extreme social anxiety. Like, this moment of my life is traumatic. So he comes back upstairs, and he's like, okay, girl, you gotta get in the closet. Like, they're here, they're doing something, and they're not gonna leave for a while. And I was like, no, I gotta be home in like half an hour, yo. Like, I need to leave. And he's like, well, that's not gonna happen because they're here. So you're gonna have to hide in my closet.
Get in the closet and just don't breathe because they're gonna hear you.
Shut up. So I get in the closet, And I'm there. I don't have a watch. I'm naked. I'm in my boyfriend's closet. I hear his aunt and uncle talking, walking back and forth. And I'm like, oh my God, my parents are going to literally murder me. I need
terrifying.
to leave. So finally, he's downstairs talking to them, comes back up, and he's like, okay, they had a change of plans. They're not really going anywhere anymore, so you're going to have to, like, sneak out the door. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to kind of distract them, and you slip out the front door, and I'll meet you out there, right? So he devised this plan of, like, letting his little dog out, right? So he let the dog out, and then he, like, distracted his aunt and uncle, and was like, oh my God, the dog's out. Let the dog out. I ran out after the dog, and then he ran out after me and the dog. Oh my God, let me tell you, I was so scared. The way the house was set up, there was like stairs coming down, and then the back of the couch that they were sitting on was like directly behind the couch. Mm-hmm. So I was like panicking, trying to tiptoe as quietly as I can out this door.
Like right past them?
Like right past them.
Oh my God.
I don't know to this day how I didn't get caught. But that was half the battle because I was an hour late to get home, right?
Oh my God, you were in that closet for an hour?
I was in the closet for an hour.
It must have felt like an eternity.
Yeah, I took a nap. I cried a little bit. It was the worst.
Did he ever bring you your clothes?
Yeah, when he came up to tell me I had to sneak out, he was like, grab shit.
God. You're just naked in the closet.
Naked and afraid.
So
we lived fairly close to each other. It was in the next neighborhood over. So he walked me home, and I walk in, and my dad was in the military my entire life.
Oh my God.
He was like, where the hell have you been? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like,
a turd, what?
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry. The dog got out. We had to chase it all over the town. I don't know. I'm sorry. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
That was awful. That was my virginity story.
Oh my God. That is traumatic.
It's traumatic.
Oh my God. In the closet for a fucking hour.
Yeah.
Hiding.
Yeah.
Oh my Jesus. Wow, my story is nothing like that.
Well, I gotta hear it.
Okay, so freaking A. I was 14. My boyfriend at the time was 16. It was his birthday. He was turning 16. And odd thing, little history on this one. Apparently, our mothers, unknown to us, were best friends.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I wasn't supposed to be dating because my mother is Mormon, and I wasn't allowed to even consider looking at a boy before 16. And so I was sneaking around, you know, meeting up with this guy. He lived a couple miles away from us. So we would walk and meet halfway and like hang out and all this stuff. That was actually my intro into exercise because going for runs for 12 miles was my excuse for going and hanging out with my boyfriend at 14.
A brilliant story. Well done.
We did actually exercise. We did go on walks. We did run and stuff like that. But we were also making out in the bush behind the stop sign, too. So, you know.
Counts.
Yes. 14. That's how you do it. Listen, mommies, that's how it happens. They sneak. We were all there once, you know. Don't think your kids are naive.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it wasn't until I went over to his house because he didn't have to lie to his mom. So his mom knew he was going out to meet a girl. And she was like, well, I want to meet your girlfriend. And so I went over there and she found out who I was. And she was like, I know your mom. And that's how my mom found out that we were dating. It's because his mom messaged her and was just like, funny story. Our children are dating. And I was like, oh my God, 8th grade, 14-year-old me was mortified. But I was like, F you, I'm going to do it anyway. And so we had been together for, I don't know, several months. And my mom was out of town. And I was at the house with my boyfriend and my, at the time, stepdad. And he had fallen asleep on the couch. The stepdad had fallen asleep on the couch. What nobody knew is that regardless of him falling asleep on the couch, I had premeditated this act. I had gone out and I had purchased the condoms. I was like, we've been together for a little while and I wanna fuck. You know?
I am prepared.
Yes. I was responsible, though. I went and bought the condoms.
Kudos.
Which is one thing that when in high school, after people found out that I had lost my virginity, and they would come up to me and they'd be like, oh my goodness, I think I'm ready. Will you go buy condoms for me? I would tell them, if you can't go and buy your own condoms, you're not ready to have sex.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And they were just like, what? And I was like, no, I'm not going to go buy you condoms. If you can't buy your own, don't have sex. That's my advice to you. Don't do it. I mean, if you're going to do it regardless, like, be smart about it. But, like, don't do it. You're not ready. But anyway, so I was prepared. Okay, I had them, and it was his birthday. So, of course, little teenage me is like, I gotta make it romantic. So I made him dinner, and, like, I went the whole 9, and I set up, like, dinner in my bedroom because I wanted our privacy. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't abnormal because, you know, you're a teenager. You want your own privacy. You're in your first relationship. So wanting to have dinner away from the parents wasn't abnormal. Them thinking, oh, she wants to make dinner for him. It's his birthday. Not abnormal. Well, then mom's gone. She's out of town. Stepdad and the sister I shared a bedroom with was with her.
Okay.
So I knew no one was going to just walk in the room while the stepdad's asleep on the couch, sawing logs. Yeah, nobody is coming to knock on that door. So I was like, hey. And I literally, like, I don't say anything. I just pulled out the condom. And he was like, okay.
Is this happening?
Yeah.
Was it his first time too?
Yes. Oh. Yes. So he was kind of a chunkier kid, and he was really, really shy. Like, when he and I got together, nobody really wanted to be his friend because he was, like, really recluse and shy. Before that, he had gone to the private school, actually. And so, yeah, it was definitely his first time, too. And he was so nervous. He was more nervous than I was, which is so funny. He was, like, terrified almost. You could just see it in his face. He was practically shaking as his dick was, like, getting ready to go in me, right? Like, I'm laying there, he's getting ready to put it in me. And freaking, he was so nervous, he, like, fell out a couple times. You know, first time, nobody knows what they're doing. It was unbelievably embarrassing, but at the same time, like, all you can expect, you know? And that was it. Like, it lasted, like, 2 freaking minutes at most. And then the panic was on how to hide the condom, which was the story of my life for, like, the next several years, because this individual and I dated throughout almost all of high school. We ended up splitting, like, halfway through senior year. So freaking for years, it was, how do I fucking hide the condoms full of shit? Like, it was horrible. That's the biggest battle. How do you hide it?
Exactly.
So I would, like, wrap them up in toilet paper and wad it up like it was a snotty tissue or something and, like, stick it in the trash can. There was 5 women in the house. There was always tampons in there. Right. So I'd, like, make sure that it was, like, freaking stashed under. It was horrible. It was horrible. But yeah, that was my first time. It was his birthday, and it was just utter nervousness and, like, repeated falling out of my gooch.
Poor guy. Sweet 16. There you go.
Right. And so funny. That's still not the worst sexual experience that I ever had.
Oh
my
yeah.
goodness.
I'm interested to hear yours because I could tell you some of the worst.
Yes.
Oh God.
Freaking, we will definitely. That is some serious podcast subject matter. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I think that's everything for today. I hope you have enjoyed our rants and shenanigans.
First time experiences. I'd love to hear anybody else's.
Yes, please share your first time experiences with us at mommysblackbookpodcast at gmail.com. We would love to hear them. Please share. Have a wonderful night, everybody.